You'll recall a few weeks back when we talked to Paul and Bill, the hairy bikers from Bryan who were starring on the History Channel on Friday night. Well, on a recent episode, they drove around this part of the country, and one stop was at Royer's Round Top Cafe. It's a little more than an hour from Bryan College Station and just west of Brenham. Now, I thought about making a stop there, maybe even doing a story, and then I looked up their website and I found a better reason to visit than the cafe itself, and that is saying a lot. In Round Top on a Monday afternoon, on a scale of 1 to 100, the Serenity is about a 90. But in this tiny town, one place you will find hustle and bustle is Royer's Cafe. They're not open Mondays, but they are busy.
8 a.m. this morning, we started boxing. We have about 1,300 pies going out today, so we got out early so that we could hopefully get finished before the UPS train gets here.
This place has been a cafe since the year after World War II, but in 1987, Bud Royer bought it and turned it into something distinctly Bud Royer.
It took us about a year and a half to figure out who we were, and by the time we figured out who we were, we then began to own it in our heads and our hearts.
When they are open, customers find a colorful world backed up by a big menu. Getting a seat quickly might be as tough as finding Round Top on a map, but it's word of mouth that's built Royer's into a Texas institution.
In 25 years, we spent less than $2,000 really in advertising. It's all been building relationships. So I call this my wall of heroes. I just go through these people. This is the dear woman up in Iowa, in Illinois, that I got the recipe for the pie dough from. Her granddaughter gave it to me. There's a story behind everything on the wall here. There's a story. It's a pretty special wall.
You could do a whole story on the cafe alone, but that's not why we came to Fayette County. It began with a chocolate chip pie sent in December of 2010. Destination, Afghanistan, to an American service member, courtesy of his mom. Next month, Royer gets a picture in his email.
And they're standing in their compound in Afghanistan, and you see the guard towers behind them, and they're all gathered together holding these pies, and with the biggest smiles on their face. And I just was moved to tears. I showed it to my wife, and I said, Karen, I said, we got to figure this out.
And they figured out Operation Desert Pie. You buy 2 desserts, Royer ships them to the troops, whether you know them or not.
Many people don't have an address or a soldier to send it to, so we send them to battalion commanders, groups of, and they distribute them to the soldiers in that they're over. That particularly those, they know those that haven't received much.
When the labels note a specific troop, they add that it could go to another person, in case the first one's moved on or even passed on.
So that's kind of a heart-touching area every time we do it. We ship pies once a month, and we've done anywhere from about 150 a shipment to as little as 20.
On behalf of the Marines, I want to thank you for the pies.
Letters and tokens from the front line.
Most of the Marines are from the Houston area. This flag was flown on behalf of your organization.
They're what let Bud Royer know that a little pie goes a long way.
It just says how much more we got to do. We got to keep doing it. I have a sense of what it means in the fact that it's a slice of home. It's a slice that somebody's thinking about them. And it's like that you know, if somebody does care. It's the ultimate slice of home is a pie.
And the Christmas deadline to buy pies for a service member stationed overseas is December 5th. In addition, Royers will make a $5 donation to the Fisher House Foundation for every pair of pies purchased. Fisher Houses are lodging for veterans and military families who are getting treatment in military hospitals and treatment facilities as they are far from home. We do have a link to Royer's Cafe's Operation Desert Pie website. It is up right now at our web channel, KBTX.com. Today's poll question here at 4 o'clock is whether you have ever sent anything to an American service member deployed overseas. If the answer is no, then certainly a pie might be a good start, but right now 75% of you are saying that yes, you have in fact sent something to folks overseas. You can find the poll question at our Facebook page, which is also where you can leave your comments, just like Linda has. I've sent over 600 care packages. Started when my 3 sons were deployed and continued once they came home. Knowing the thrill they get when they receive the most simple things from home is a real heartwarmer. Obviously, Linda has done a lot, and you can do so as well. Again, the link to Royers at our web channel, KBTX.com. First Ladies Barbara and Laura Bush were in town to talk about their experiences in the White House. Carla Castillo was there as well. She has much more from their talk that is next, right here on First News at 4.
This is First News at 4 with Carla Castillo, Kaylee Friends with weather, and Focus at 4 with Steve Fullhart. This is KBTX News 3, the people you know, the news you trust.